Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all blessed. God bless each and every one of you for watching my videos and subscribing to my channel. My channel is growing and I give glory to God for that. Alright, so in today's video I am going to be talking about some of the reasons why I love going to church, or some of the reasons why I've come to love going to church, because I didn't used to like going to church. So stay tuned. All right, so let's get into the video. So as you can see, all right, today is actually Sunday and I came back from church a few hours ago, and I knew I was going to film this video, so I haven't gotten changed out of my church outfit. So when it's Sunday, I really do try. I put on my best clothes to go and see the Lord. So that's why I'm looking all nice and well put together. This is not how I look on a normal day, but when it comes to Sundays, I really do try my best. Okay, so let's get into the video. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be sharing some of the reasons why I've come to love going to church. But just before I do that, I want to share a bit of about like my church going journey. So a few years ago, I think when I started uni. So if you haven't watched my salvation testimony, I guess I would call it, like how I came to rededicate my life to God, I'll link it in the description box so that you can watch it. So I rededicated my life to God at uni, and then from there I started going to church quite regularly. But even then, I didn't really, see the essence of going to church that much, like compared to now. Like before, I was going to church, I guess, just for going sake. I wasn't really benefiting from it that much. But as time went on, as I started to take my relationship with God seriously, and I started to grow in my relationship with God, I came to really love going to church. I became really involved in my local church, and I started to see so many benefits in my personal life and even in the lives of others around me as I grew, in my relationship with God, and I started to take church really seriously. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's basically it. I didn't used to take church seriously because I didn't really see the benefits of it, but now I really do see the benefit of going to church. I love going to church. I mean, I cannot love it enough. If you know me, you know I love going to church. I don't take going to church lightly at all, and I don't miss church for any reason. Like, if I'm gonna miss church, it's going to be something that is going to be for a reason that I probably don't have much of a choice in. But aside from that, I wouldn't really miss church for any other reason. Going to church is really important to me, and I'm going to be sharing some of the reasons why today. I've written the reasons on a notepad, so I'm going to be reading from it here. So let's get into the reasons. So in no particular order, the first one that I've written down here is that I have come to really enjoy going to church, because for me, everything that I go and do at church is for God's glory. So the aim or the motive that I have every time when I'm going to church is that everything that I'm going to do there is for God's glory. So whether I'm going to church on a Sunday, whether I'm going for a midweek service on a Wednesday or a Friday, or even it's a prayer meeting on a Monday, anytime I'm going to church, the motive or the aim that I have in my head is that this is for God's glory. So, and therefore it needs to be taken seriously. So because I have that motive, when I'm going to church or when I get to church, everything that I'm doing, whether I am arranging chairs, whether I am praying, I am singing, I'm worshiping, I'm listening to the sermon, I'm doing Bible reading, whatever I find myself doing in church, because in my head, I've got it in my head that this is for God's glory. Whatever I'm here to do is for God's glory. I take it really seriously and I do it well. And before, when I wasn't really seeing the benefit of going to church, it was because when I would go, I wasn't really doing anything. I would kind of, I guess, just go to be a spectator, just kind of like go to watch what was going on there. I wasn't taking part in anything. I wasn't really getting involved in anything. I would kind of just go and sit there, and then when it's time to get up, when it's time to finish, sorry, I'll just get up and go. I remember before, I wouldn't even let church finish, and I'll just get up and go. But now that has changed, and I believe one of the reasons for that is because I have it in my head, or the motive for me is that everything that I go to church to do is for God's glory. So that's the first point. Yeah. So the second reason that I've come to love going to church is the getting ready part. So the process of getting ready to go to church, especially on a Sunday, is a time of excitement, a time of joy for me personally. Like, and that includes like the night before. So like mostly on Saturday evenings, or even sometimes even like at the beginning of the week, I already know what I'm going to wear. So I've already picked out my outfit for the Sunday, and I've in my head I've already imagined how I'm going to look for church on the Sunday. So that is really exciting for me. So Sunday morning when I wake up and I'm getting ready for church, I'm really excited. I have some praises on in the background, like maybe I'll be playing some music on my phone or something. As I'm getting ready, I am just excited, and I just can't wait to go to church and worship God and just be around my church family. And so that process really excites me. I get really excited getting ready for church. So that's another reason why I've come to love church. I don't think I get as excited getting ready to go to church as I do with anything else. Everything else, yeah, like for example, when I'm getting ready to go to work, yeah, I'm okay. When I'm getting ready to go and do anything else, yeah, like the feeling is normal. But when I'm getting ready to go to church, it's just another level of excitement. It's another level of joy. And I really believe that is linked to the first point, is because in my mind, in my head, I'm going to go and see God. I'm going into the house of God, and everything that I'm going to do there, for me, I see it as a privilege. I see it as a time to really connect with God and really show him how honored I am to get the opportunity to worship him among other believers. So that adds to the excitement. And the another part is just, I know I'm going to look good. I'm going to look good going to see the Lord, and that is too exciting for me. So that's another point. Yeah. So the third point that I have is being around my church family and just getting to see how everyone is doing. That is really important to me. Like when I go to church and I see people, I get really excited seeing everyone coming to church. And I think it's probably because I'm an usher as well. So I'm an usher at my church, and I stand at the door and I get the privilege to welcome everyone coming into church. And I'm like the first person that see people coming into church, and I get to have a big smile on my face. I get to have a big smile on my face and say hello to people, hi, welcome, and all those things. So it's nice for me to see people coming into church, and they're happy as well coming in, they're excited as well coming in, and that increases my excitement even more. Like as I'm seeing people coming in, or even like during like praises and worship time when people are happy, dancing, singing, that even excites me more. And I think now with COVID and everything and social distancing, we're not allowed to really dance around that much in church like before. So prior to COVID, church was, especially during worship and praises time, you would see people really doing the most, during like praises and worship, and that was very exciting. You would be able to like hug people and handshake people, like especially when you're welcoming people in as an usher. But now, thanks to COVID, it's not really like that anymore. But still, I get the opportunity to welcome people in, say hi to them, smile to them. So being able to go to church and see my church family and just see that everyone is doing well, everyone is excited to be in church, also is another reason that I've come to really love going to church. And even as well, like just being around people, even when someone is not like doing so well, the fact that they are in church and the church family is aware, we can join together and pray for them, just having each other's welfare at heart, that is really important to me. And for that reason, I've come to really enjoy being in church. I've come to enjoy the opportunity that I have to be around a group of people who genuinely care for my well-being, who genuinely care for how I'm doing. And if I don't go to church, someone will pick up the phone and call and ask, oh, like, how am I doing? And I will do the same for someone else. So being able to be around my church family is another reason that I've really come to love going to church. Okay, and then the last reason that I've got here is that it's a time set aside for God. So another reason that I've come to love going to church is that it's a time set aside for God. And I think this point really rounds all the others up, because I know that it's a time set aside for God. I know that I'm going there to glorify God with everything that I do. I know that I'm going to see others who are there to do the same, and so I take that time so serious. Like, take the 1 hour, 2 hours, however long the church service is, I take it really seriously, and I do my best to engage in it fully. So I don't like to be distracted when I'm in church. And when I say distracted, like any external things, like obviously when I'm in church and if I have to help out with anything, whether aside from just sitting down and listening to the sermon or something like that, if I have to help out with anything like clean something or arrange chairs or do anything else, I see that as part of God's work. But when I say distraction, I mean like, being on my phone or getting calls and things like that. I don't like distractions like that in church. So I really do my best to focus when I'm in church, because to me, it's a time set aside for God. It's a time to really connect with God, to really connect with the Holy Spirit. And sometimes when I'm in church, aside from even listening, sitting down listening to the sermon, or even during the prayer time, like I could be arranging chairs, I could be cleaning something, and God will be speaking to me through what I'm doing. So the whole time that I am there, I'm very focused on anything that I find myself doing, because for me, it is time set aside for God, and I want to make sure that I understand that God is all that matters in this moment, and for the hour or 2 hours that I am there, because for me, God is all that matters. Everything that I find myself doing, I try to make sure that I am doing it and doing it well. So whether that be saying hi to someone, whether that be cleaning, whatever it is, like I keep saying, I really try to do my best to do it well. So these are some of the reasons that I've really come to enjoy going to church. There are so many reasons, but I try to narrow it down to these 4. And yeah, I believe that's the end of the video. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if you enjoy going to church. Let me know why you enjoy going to church. If you don't enjoy going to church, let me know why. And I hope this video can convince you, I hope that God can convince you to enjoy going to church. I think sometimes people may have had a not so good experience with church, and if you're someone like that, I would encourage you to pray to God and ask Him to help you, either find a different church to go to, or for Him to help you have a change of heart or a change of mindset. Because sometimes we may not enjoy church, and it may be kind of like the mindset that we have. So for example, I know that another reason why I didn't really enjoy going to church was because I used to always say to myself that, oh, I don't need to go to church to be a Christian. I used to say that to myself all the time, and I didn't really understand why I used to say that to myself. I don't have any reason for why I used to say that, but I know that I had heard someone say it. I heard someone say that statement somewhere, and I was like, yeah, I don't need to go to church as well to be a Christian. But I know that it was just out of mere laziness. I didn't really have like a really good reason. It was just out of just mere laziness. And I think before as well, I used to be quite worried about being judged when I would go to church, especially when I first rededicated my life to God. I was a bit worried that when I go to church, I'll probably be judged, especially in the way that I dress, in the way that I talk. And at the time, I didn't understand that I was growing in my relationship with God, and it would take time for certain things in my life to change. So I was always worried about that as well. So maybe that probably influenced some of the reasons why I didn't want to go to church. But like I've mentioned earlier, as I grew, that changed, and I give glory to God for that. So if you have any worries about going to church, definitely pray about them. Tell God about those worries that you have and ask Him to help you. Going to church is important. Going to church I would say it doesn't mean that, you know, how do I even say this? Like, I know I've heard people say things like going to church doesn't mean that you're a Christian, but I personally believe that going to church, it really helps you to understand the importance of getting closer to God. Because I feel like when you're in church and you don't kind of really know what's going on, you don't really understand what's going on, you're not really connecting with anything that's being done, it may be saying something about your personal relationship with God. So for me, I believe that because I take my personal relationship with God seriously, because, you know, I take spending time with God personally seriously, it really reinforces the importance of church for me. So I know it's just like a couple of hours that we're going to spend there, but during that time, it's a time set aside for God for me, like I've already said. So I believe that God is going to speak to me through any moment of that time there. So I take it seriously. So maybe check your personal relationship with God as well. That may be having an impact on why you're not enjoying church. I'm gonna stop talking now. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it blesses you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.